Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark. Please remember to slash that like button and annihilate that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell. Also, leave me comments down below. But I think I've talked enough, so let's just jump straight into these videos. Let's go!
They call me Megatron. Shorty's a megacon. It ain't a
Okay, Dave, let's go. Question time. This looks like this is about to be a deep video.
Question for the new Prime Minister. How'd you have a heart so sinister? How be so wasteful when people are dying in Somalia, Afghanistan, Egypt, Libya? The irony is we have no business in Syria, but kids are getting killed for all the business in Syria.
Come on!
I tell you that it's ice.
Come on! I like this. I like how it's already taken like this like political statement and stance that he's doing, where he's like questioning the Prime Minister and the higher powers. It's almost like this is a letter towards the government almost. I like that. Let me take this back. And I love this beat too. This beat is sick.
Question for the new Prime Minister. How'd you have a heart so sinister?
Come on.
How be so wasteful when people are dying in Somalia, Afghanistan, Egypt, Libya? The irony is we have no business in Syria, but kids are getting killed for all the business in Syria. And they try and tell you that it's ISIS. In their attempts at killing it, how many civilians died? So what's the difference between us and them? When you got drones killing kids just touching 10. Goes off, every politician's lost like that last strike. It didn't kill 100 men.
Come on.
It's them. But all that fuel for the fire is what you gave to them and what you take from them. All my life I know my mum's been working in and out of nursing, struggling, hurting. I just find it fucked that the government is struggling to care for a person that cares for a person. So where's the discussion on wages and budgets?
Oh, come on. He is killing it right now, and especially with this visual. I love this visual because it's giving me like Nightline, nightly news, or like Good Morning America, like with him being on a set and just having like the cameras on him and they're rolling and he's sitting there giving it like he's sitting there giving like how like you have like those like CNN or MSNBC or Fox News or something like that. It's almost like he's sitting there speaking for the people who are being disenfranchised. I love that, and I love the stance that he's taking and the direction that he's going with this video. Like, I love when artists sit there and do something like this because it's outside the box, and it also causes a conversation where it can almost give you like this certain like almost like where people who misunderstand it, where it gives you like a backlash almost, but it also starts the conversation for things that need to be said and that need to be heard by people who try to shy away from it and try to sweep it under the rug, like these problems that plague our world don't exist, if that makes sense. I love that.
You ain't the same as them, but all that fuel for the fire is what you gave to them and what you take from them. All my life I know my mum's been working in and out of nursing, struggling, hurting. I just find it fucked that the government is struggling to care for a person that cares for a person.
Come on!
The discussion on wages and budgets, how they made them redundant. When I was a young'un, the letters in our car said my mum was overdraft, but somehow I still had dinner money in my pocket. And
come on!
Things like ordering pizza were probably the reason for overtime in the evening. 5 till 10, 6 hours of sleeping for 22 years. My mum was doing it clean. clean.
Come on.
Dreaming that her kids would have a better life. Going bed at night, struggling with getting by.
Woo.
That's the reality for millions of people in a nation where a lot of us were looking for a second try.
Hey.
For the new Prime Minister, and please tell me if I'm being narrow-minded, but how do we spend so much money on defense and weapons to wage war when the NHS is dying?
Oh, come on.
About the people that voted for us to leave for the money that it would see. 350 million we give to the EU every week that our health service needs.
Come on, talk that talk.
Got what they wanted. Can you see an empty promise or a poster on the street? Nurses in tears because they're working every hour of the week and they still don't have the money that they need.
Oh,
Brought the heart of the nation to its knees. Underpaid, understaffed, overworked and overseen by people who can't ever understand how it feels to live life like you and me.
hey.
Patients lying in the corridors because doctors can't even find a bed for them to sleep. I remember A&E.
And I want to say that that's facts, that we sit here and we have laws that are being passed and we're being regulated by systematic governments that don't know what it's like to sit there and struggle, because a lot of these people who are in these positions of power don't, and this goes well beyond skin color or anything. They don't know the things that disenfranchise us as people. They don't know what it's like to grow up in rural areas, or they don't know what it's like to grow up in inner cities with crime and infestation and poverty and drugs affecting our everyday lives, and just struggling to find the next meals that we're gonna eat, or just the problems that face us on a day-to-day basis. It's so crazy how we have to sit here and answer to governments that sit there and basically regulate laws and put systems in place for us to be regulated. And basically what I'm trying to sit there and say, we have to sit there and answer to governments and people who are in positions of power who are never subjected to what we have to be subjected to as people at all, period. Like, it's crazy. Like, we have to sit there and listen to that sometimes. Like, maybe if they would have to sit there and walk a mile in our shoes, then they would know the things that they would have to do in order to get things done.
Overworked and overseen by people who can't ever understand how it feels to live life like you and me. Patients lying in the corridors because doctors can't even find a bed for them to sleep. I remember A&E and all them sickening screams of a little girl waiting for a surgeon to be seen.
Come on!
Ties healthcare, guns for police, increase uni fees. Is this what they're selling us? Or let me remind you, just in case you've forgotten, that we live in Great Britain, not in Donald Trump's America.
Oh,
America,
come on!
State and the president. With all due respect, I've got something to say to them. I just find it funny you can't give a hand to Palestine, but you can trade whole arms with Saudi Arabia.
Oh, come on. He is speaking facts.
Look, I got a question for the new Prime Minister. At Grenfell Tower, your response was ridiculous. You hid like a coward behind your 5 million, dodged responsibility and acted like you're innocent. And I can see you're terrified. You're not good at telling lies. I'm getting why you stay away from everything that's televised. You look like a robot and you don't speak with any life. It feels to me like any guy in press could have said them lies.
Come on!
Imagine going to the council for the safety of your block and you got kids but they're ignoring you at every time. Everyone who knew about that cladding should really be going to prison under rule of joint enterprise. But if it ain't a little kid with a knife, I bet that judge is going easy when he's giving him time.
Come on!
Be free, and he built an MP that knew about the conditions but did it to save cheese. When I listened to the things that the residents had seen, I was so shocked I couldn't even speak. Families they know that had died in their sleep. How you choke on the smoke when you're struggling to breathe. The glow from the fire, the panic when you hear all of the sirens, the crackling, the popping and the muffled out screams. Fear in the eyes of a man that was trapped who jumped 15 floors from the tower to the street. I could only hear a fraction of the pain and the grief. Closing my eyes, trying hard not to cry at the joy and relief in the face of a man when a woman from the flat said his neighbor was alive. No help from the council in keeping any list or the people that survived, his neighbors and peers. For that whole meeting I could see that he was trying, so his smile was an island in a sea full of tears. Look, I got a message for our old Prime Minister. David Cameron. I mean, you fucked us, resigned, and sneaked out the firing line. I wanna know how you managed it. And are you bathing in the sun while them papers have a run at the woman that you left here to handle it? You gonna teach your little lad to be the man that's got a plan, and in the moment that it fails to abandon it? Are there bullies in his school? And when you pick him up after class, can you feel his embarrassment? I mean, you never gave a fuck about the youth, and that's the truth. There's no
come on.
cabinet. I really wish I could have seen how you were scrambling when you lost the referendum that you had to win. I feel like politicians are all addicts in a big fat game, but it's lives that you gamble with. I got a question for the leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn. Where do you want to take the country to? Honestly, I want to put my trust in you, but you can understand why if I got trust issues. Do you really have the faith of your party? Do you really have faith in the party that will come with you?
Come on!
How do you plan on keeping all the promises, man? If I'm being honest, sir, I'm struggling to get with it. I just ain't getting it. Everybody's great until you get them into office, and then guys start forgetting things.
Come on!
Don't promise me anything. Go and get justice for Sean Charles and Edison.
Woo!
And if you haven't had the thought to vote yet or protest, cause you don't really see the progress, I hope you know that what they're saying is affecting us. The small steps are way better than no steps.
That was fire. Oh, this is inspired by Devlin? Oh, and The Weeknd? Okay. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. That was dope. I like that. Okay, so let's quickly talk about Dave with question time. I want to first sit here and talk about how Dave really solidified himself within like the almost the Holy Trinity, where it almost kind of gives me like a top 4 now, where I'll put Mike, Righteous, Low Key, and Akala in, with those 3 being like so boss and so lyrically heavy and dominant. And just for him to sit here and come with a track like this, it really was reminiscent almost of something that I would hear from like Low Key when I did Abomination, the reaction with Abomination by Low Key, or the Death of Neoliberalism by Low Key, or when I sit there and listen to Akala when he did his Fire in the Booths and Murder Runs the Globe, and just different reactions like that. And then to sit here and see Dave do like this sort of political stance, where it's almost like he took like on the form of like where we have like in the States, where you have like the debates against the Republican Party and the Democratic Party within the nominations of trying to sit there and win presidency, and you have the moderator asking questions. I almost felt like that's what Dave was doing. I felt like he was representing like almost a moderator on TV in that regard, if that makes sense, as it went on. Like at first I was getting like this like CNN like nightly news type of vibe, like Dateline type of news type of vibe, or like this Fox News or MSN or like any of, or CNN, like any of those other political commentary type news outlets that we have like here in the States. That's the type of vibe he gave with this track. But then as it went on and as the track waned on, it really gave me a sense of him embodying like a moderator and just sitting there questioning like questions that we as people would ask our so to speak, elected officials before they take office. Like, how are you going to sit here and change our economy? How are you going to change our schools? How are you going to sit there and change our jobs, like our governmental system? Like, how are you going to sit there and change our economy? How are you going to sit there and like affect the job market? Or how are you going to change healthcare? Like, all of those things. Like, how are you going to affect like military and just wars, and just like all those questions that we have as different varying parties. And I felt like that's what he was doing, and that's what he was representing, in a sense of being a moderator and asking those questions within this video being called Question Time. And I love how simplistic it was, where it was just focused on him, with just him being like at a desk and with cameras peered on him, and him just sitting there like, yo, like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, how are you gonna sit there and create change for our people? And I thought that was like, whether you're black, white, brown, yellow, pink, green, orange, yellow, macaroni and cheese, you name it, whatever type of thing that's in the Crayola crayon box. Like, he really sat there and embodied that, and I love how he was able to evoke that and put that on full display, and be able to sit there and solidify himself to be able to sit there and step outside the box and sit there and go into that political realm and that political sphere, and be able to sit there and put himself in a position where he might face scrutiny and backlash for sitting there, being able to sit there and want to go against the grain and go against the government and ask these questions that so many people that may be in his position of power try to shy away from, because they don't feel like it's correct for their image, because they feel like it'll downplay who they are as an artist and their star quality and their star power. So I take my hat off to him for him having the courage and being able to do that. I thought he did a phenomenal job. I love this, and I want to sit here and say that I'm not going to rate this, because I thought this was absolutely phenomenal and that he did an outstanding job. So let me know what you thought of Dave with Question Time in the comments below. And with that being said, please remember to be safe out there. Remember to stay awesome, be awesome, because you guys are all awesome. This is your boy Mark, and I'm signing off. Deuces. Peace.
They call me Megatron. Shorty's a mega con. It ain't about the race either. It's the